Okay, so the sun, huh? So I know what you're thinking, going through all that proton-proton chain stuff, really? Is that really what goes on inside the sun? The answer to the question is yes, really. And the stuff is difficult to talk about, all the protons and neutrons and getting it all straight with the helium and the deuterium and stuff. And I know what you're wondering about all this stuff. Is it going to be on the exam? And the answer to that is yes also. But that's our sun, All that stuff that I wonder, that proton-proton chain. That's what our sun is doing all the time. And that's what is going on when we have a nice, beautiful day like this and the sun is up there. Proton-proton chain is going on in the core and giving us this beautiful day. Now, of course, you can't knock the sun because it gives us all the warmth and light that we need for life to exist on Earth. But certainly there's a lot of other things coming out too, which just aren't so nice. But this is what sort of gives us these nice days. And all of this on the proton-proton core, if I go back to this rather technical view of the sun, that's what's just going on right in there. That's where all is happening in there. Again, the proton-proton chain, and hopefully you see why it's called a chain, or the PP chain, something like that. And I hope all told that you see whether the graphical proton-proton chain or the one that we sort of wrote out, that you see it really is all net told a couple hydrogens coming together that ultimately give helium plus a bunch of heat. That's sort of what goes on in the core there. So I hope you see that now. So the issue then with the sun is a couple things here. Let me add a page here that I can write on. With the sun is that, okay, we start all this with one of Bensky's silly propositions here, that the sun should really be drawn like something mad like that, because we've seen sort of what goes on in its interior now, right? We have neutrinos coming out. We have positrons. We have protons flinging around. We have gamma rays coming out. We have a bunch of heat. And in addition to that, we have certainly visible light. I mean, this is the stuff that we can see with our eyes, but we also have this UV coming out, which is linked to cancer, X-rays, and just about everything coming out. So this is sort of my proposition for the sun. Seems like it's actually kind of mad, not happy, and I'll give you some more evidence of that anger coming up. So the question that also becomes then is on this question number 19 here, question number 19 about why do we draw the sun all happy like that? Well, I hope you're getting an idea for what I'm talking about now, because as the scientist that you are and looking underneath it all, it just isn't so pretty. And so one of the issues that I like to talk about then is, okay, well, what happens then if a proton or a positron or something like an electron like that sort of interacts with your body? Because you figure the sun is out there bathing the solar system in its light, and we live on Earth here. That's where our bodies are. So what sort of happens when they come together? And the issue sort of is something like this. I showed you during the eclipse then, is that when the moon sort of gets in the way here and blocks out all of this bright photosphere of the sun, remember there's that white wispy part on the outside, which is the corona that we can only see during an eclipse. We can only see that during the eclipse. And I want to point out that the corona is not what we always draw. Okay, these are not the corona right here at all. No way. Those little rays that we always draw coming out, that's not the corona, because I don't think our drawings are that sophisticated. I think by that I mean this is sort of the life-giving light that the sun sort of bathes the Earth in. So when we're sitting here on the Earth like this in our orbit, then this will be where it's nighttime over here, and of course this will be where it's daytime over here, where everyone can sort of go out and have a picnic because it's nice and bright with the light rays are lighting it. That's what we're talking about. So this corona here, actually what it's made out of now that we're sort of done, is it's a very wispy gas, and what's sort of in the corona here are just a bunch of protons and electrons. So negative and positive charges are literally streaming off of the sun like that, So positive and negative and positive and negative and positive and negative. These protons and electrons are actually coming out of the sun. That's what the corona is. And believe it or not, that's what we see. This is what that white wispy stuff is. So it isn't like it's light or anything like that. It's protons and electrons. And I've got some more bad news for you here, that when the sun is spitting all this stuff out, so here's the sun here, you know, and I'm just going to draw sort of the corona coming out here. Here's sort of the corona, that wispy corona, which again we can't see unless it's an eclipse like that. But what I just told you now is we know these are little protons and electrons coming out, and they're going out in all directions like this. And the bad news about all this is the protons and electrons fill the whole solar system. The whole solar system is bathed in the, and I'll just say the name for it here, is the solar wind. The whole solar system is bathed in the solar wind, which sort of originates with the corona there, and off it goes. It doesn't just stop abruptly when it gets past the sun. The whole solar system is bathed in this. So it is true that when you draw the sun like this, then you start putting in your planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, all that sort of thing. As you go out, my very energetic mother just served us nachos. Those protons and electrons are filling the entire solar system like that. So yes, all of the planets, all of the moons, everything in between is all being bathed in these particles coming from the sun. Proton, electron, proton, electron, proton, electron, proton, electron, all over the place like this. Never mind the neutrinos and the gamma rays and the X-rays and all that stuff. This is what the sun is doing here, and this is called the solar wind. More in the next video.